Now we know there's been lots of conversations about this video, but we believe that background is necessary. And so we're going to go through this video frame by frame and let you know what's going on and why my man General did the things that he needed to do for the people.
That's right.
Can we hit play, General?
Thank you. I feel as though we should be giving this award to the mayor, right? I feel that
So tell the viewers, General, what made you walk up and grab the microphone?
So, because of course the story ain't being told right? So, what made me want to grab the microphone is to tell a real story, because I wasn't on the speaker list, and I don't believe anybody else that was the other people that was on the speaker list as well wasn't saying what needed to be said at the time.
he's the one that came down here and brought the tallest through the floor. But you know what? This award is just like the mayor and his cronies. It's worthless. Because
So now, you said it was worthless, like the mayor and his cronies. Why was it worthless?
So it's worthless because this award right here basically don't mean jack. If the mayor was doing what he's supposed to be doing, it would have never been, first of all, a award for me to be getting anyway, right? Second of all, the award is bogus because for the last 10 years, right, me along with other members of the Human and Civil Rights Committee have been meeting weekly to document the public health and safety infrastructure here on Skid Row. In fact, we have documented it, our community to the T, to where we went on every block and we laid out what streets need water fountains, what streets need trash cans, and of course what streets need bathrooms.
this award is this right here. The tallest that you bring in is 10 years late and it's 300 too short. Right?
So you was really specific about your numbers in terms of we need far more than 6 toilets and some showers. What were you trying to get across?
So my point I'm trying to get across is we've been letting them know, just like I said, we documented a report almost 10 years ago talking about the infrastructure, the health infrastructure on Skid Row and what's needed to bring it up to par, right? And so in 2013, we laid out our first part one of the Dirty Divide, which was a public health report card done by community, right, to document the conditions that we going through on a daily basis, right? And we documented this report and we gave copies to all our elected officials to make sure, right, that they was up on what was going on Skid Row. And so they been knew about the conditions that we've been going through for the last 10 years on Skid Row. This is nothing new.
For the last 16 years, you've been in leadership of city council. You have directly criminalized Skid Row. And I cannot accept this. Right?
So you went right to criminalization,
Exactly.
right? And people was there to celebrate hygienes and showers. What were you talking about on criminalization?
So, of course, like always, people has been getting tickets, for public health situations on Skid Row. We've been getting tickets, we've been getting cited, we've been getting arrested. And the whole thing about criminalization is that for the last 10 years, under the Safer Cities Initiative, which was under this guy, half of him, Garcetti, and the other half, Viragosa, have allowed for the Safer Cities Initiative to exist on Skid Row. That has totally devastated Skid Row, have totally bloodsucked all resources out of Skid Row. They have a homeless budget that the city of Los Angeles had, in which they had laid out $100 million, right, to address homeless issues. Out of that $100 million, 87% went to police. Right, so we can't hardly even talk about addressing homeless issues. You know what I mean? When you giving the overwhelming money to the police.
This ain't nothing compared to what we've been going through and what we need, right? We totally laid out in the Dirty Divide what the community needs.
So talk about the Dirty Divide. You talked about it a second ago in 2013. What's going on with it now?
So the Dirty Divide 2013, just like I said, we laid out the first one. We put out specific recommendations, what's needed. And so the city has yet to respond to our recommendations, you know. And so here it is 5 years later, fast forwarding up, what are the conditions that we see on the ground? We see homelessness is at an all-time high. We see the criminalization of homeless is up. It is for black folks and homeless people, 48%. We see health conditions, communicable diseases and stuff like that on the rise, hepatitis A and everything else.
Right, and until everything and the recommendations and this dirty divide is set aside, then what we doing here today don't mean nothing. It's a start.
So talk about that new dirty divide that you showed, the dirty divide update.
So yeah, for sure. So here it is. We fast forward. Here it is. We fast forward 5 years later. You know what I'm saying? Me, and we have yet, you know what I'm saying me, to record. The city has yet to do the recommendations in the first dirty divide. So we created the second dirty divide to talk about the new conditions in which we find ourselves living in right now. And basically, a lot of the recommendations in here are some of the same recommendations are from the first ones, because the first one was never fulfilled. But what we're doing is we document the intents on how things have proliferated, how conditions have proliferated, you know what I'm saying? And the city yet to have the political will to address them.
But just like I said, we need 300 more toilets.